the wild wagons today. We got this cute little guy. This is something Dad made a long time ago out of somebody's back patio deck. It hasn't been inside, and mostly it gets used for odds and ends stuff. We've got about 50 bales left to make. And hopefully it holds together for that. Probably get 50 on here and that's about it. But I don't feel like unloading too many wagon loads of hay. So this is what it's come down to. We're going straight and the tongue's crooked. That's why this wagon is what it is. Because the gear got kinked real bad a long time ago when it was a grain wagon. It's wider than I thought. Oh boy. Yeah, the joy of these little fields. Oh. Yeah, this is not gonna go well because that tire is gonna rub right there. I mean, raking this is a real challenge. You see there's 4 unraked windrows. Those were really wet yesterday. I did all the raking yesterday, so it was done for today. The other wagon we can see over the corn way over yonder, and we look up close. See, it's still leaning real bad. We got like 225 on that. I've never put that much on a wagon, but I haven't used a 20-foot wagon much. But this little patch right here is where I run the chickens frequently. This is the second time cutting it. The first time was back in August, so the turnaround was really fast. And I only raked 3 windrows together. So, I mean, they're not giant, but for second cut, they're pretty good. Only raking 21 feet. It's gonna be annoying baling those 4 unraked. Oh boy, there goes the wildcats. Get bunches of mice, would you? How shall we stack this? I think I can do a good enough job. I don't need a backboard that we can go ahead and build up instead of trying to build a bottom layer. Just got to be ready to grab these things when they come off. Now don't fall off the back, would you? Now we'll see how wet these are. I run into issues because of the trees. Now the good news is, from the tree clearing efforts, which I've done a horrendous job of keeping maintained after the tree clearing, well, the trees are a little bit out of the way, but this windrow, these bales are going to weigh about 1,000,000 pounds and be super wet, I bet. The rest of this dried okay. There was some wet spots when I raked it, but I figured raking would roll the hay over nicely to get what's on top on bottom and what's on bottom on top for hopefully somewhat even dryness. So we're gonna make probably a couple bales here. They're gonna be real stupidly short because we're not bringing enough hay in. And with each plunger stroke, the bales keep moving back a little bit, but not enough. And when there's not enough hay, it only packs the bottom. There's not enough to get pushed up in the chamber. Oh, yeah. I'm about ready for hay season to be over because I'm getting tired of unloading wagons. The worst part is I have to find room in the barn for these wagons currently. Do some shuffling around. What's that dance called? I think it's the Cupid shuffle, or I always say Cuban though. You know, that one you do at weddings, everybody knows it, kind of. Let's see, is he gonna pay attention? Are we in second gear? The roll bar's not in the way. I hope we're not in first. Second. There we go. We don't need to be going so slow. Like I said, the more hay we stuff in, the more consistent the bale. I'll point the bale out here. Oh, well, I guess we got to stop and have a planning meeting. He lost his tobacco. Can't get it in gear. He broke the seat. Oh. Yes. Well, at least I don't have to say it. I guess while we're waiting, we'll walk the plank. Whew. That's got some weight to it. Ah. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen. These fields are fairly smooth. We can get after it a little bit. Don't have to worry about bouncing anything off. I'll probably just go 3 high. If we make more hay than that, I'll be thoroughly surprised. May have to take some tension off. That last one had some weight to it. Some of this stuff, and it's probably based on moisture, we'll say seems a little light. Some of it's a little heavy. This stuff is heavy. The last field they were a little light. And then there's this weird little thing that's wet. Oh, it's wet. Oh, geez. What are we gonna do with you? I hope you dry out. Probably end up feeding you quick. See, that's what I get for not paying attention. Yeah, this top layer back here, probably gonna end up being some bales to feed, and we're made out of this stuff. I'm hoping this next windrow is drier. The last two should be dry enough. Like this one's nice and dry. We'll go ahead and drop it on the deck. Wave to the neighbors. They're missing out on our fun. It's the time of year where people like to go to farms, pick pumpkins. Maybe these places have a hayride. I've been doing it all summer, guys. Come on, where you been? That's gonna be an annoying board. Almost done. One loop and a windrow. I don't know, we might make our 50 bales. Everybody look at the second crop beans. It's a little rough in this spot. This slope can be precarious, to say the least. We're getting things to grow, either too dry, and then the clay holds the moisture really well. I've run the chickens down here a bunch too. And that's, I mean, I usually don't have a second cut turnaround that quick. I usually have to make second cut before middle of July. Now this is really tight. This is not gonna go well. I mean, the good news is we don't care too much about the wagon, I guess, but that was a tight turn. Yeah, this is our little grass riparian buffer zone, you know, coming down the hill. And I guess a little bit at the edge looks greener from runoff, but not really. It's not like we've got that big of a slope. We have the lovely creek down here. Oh. The reed canary grass is doing a great job of growing over it, holding that dirt in place. I still have a chicken pen down here. Ugh. That gets moved every time we mow. I need to just clean it up. It broke last time I used it. I've slowed way down on the meat chickens too. But yes, the meat chickens were probably the best for fertilizing because I was moving the pens daily and they were thoroughly leaving manure on, say, an 8x10 space daily. Whereas the egg layers, I give them more room and they move around more, and really in that bigger area they would be concentrated in certain spots, not evenly. Like I could, really the meat chickens were like little 5-pound manure spreaders that I could put on a nice fixed rate anywhere I wanted. I don't know about fixed, but I could control the rate and move them. Oh, and put straight lines instead of ending up with pockets where the egg layers would congregate. It was really fun going into winter. You could see where I would have ran the chickens, and there'd be like extra green strips throughout the winter. Oh. Leaves are good in hay, right? We got a lot of leaf, no, not much leaf loss. Wrong kind of leaf though. See if we make our 50 bales. There's 16 in each column, so there's 32, 37. Now we only got to make 12 more to hit my guesstimate. That could be a stretch because we only have the one windrow, so we won't quite make 50. Probably close. It'll be all cleaned up. It'll look nice for winter. Gotta come through and mow that mess. That never used to be there. That ditch got dug across the road, and the township decided they wanted to dump a bunch of dirt right there. I mean, it was a very quick drop off the road down into the field, but now there's, I don't know, it seems more of a challenge to deal with than before. It's starting to look like Kentucky around here. I don't know if, I mean, I know we have our spots of Johnson grass in the field, but I wonder if, like, when they come through and mow, if the, you know, the little bush hog thingy carries seed with it at times. This wagon won't be sober loaded. We won't see it lean. When they get back into the driveway, I'll point that out. We'll look at the other load of hay, see how overloaded we are. Oh, yep, we're watching the last 50 yards of hay season coming right at us. I mean, but I wouldn't put it past myself if something came up, but we really have to get rolling with silage chopping. And then beans. And I really want to pick a ton of ear corn as usual. If that was a full-time job to do 9 to 5 all year long, you bet I would be driving a corn picker, even if it was only minimum wage. Something so satisfying about that. Who am I kidding? We're farming. We're probably making less than minimum wage. Well, that's a wrap. Last little bit. As long as Nick doesn't run over too many beans. Well, the deer look like they're plucking the leaves off of plenty anyway, so what's running over a few, right? It's a good thing we got this bale out nice and clean. Because when we put this in the barn, we're gonna need to shoot extra folded up. Oh, that's a wrap.
Didn't mean to run over the beans.
Yeah, there were our beans instead of the neighbor's beans like the last field.
Yes, that's the problem. They're not the neighbor's beans. They're not Barbara's.
What's that? Do we have a tire rubbing back there?
Right.
It smells a little smelly. I mean, we're not moving that fast. And I'm sure the wood's not that great. Everybody on your hands and knees. That's not touching. I don't know what it is. That front one's not touching. The front one's not touching either. I mean, it's hard to get on camera when you're on my head.
What?
I don't know, maybe somebody's doing burnouts for you.